Hi, everyone. Welcome back for part 4 of the Trading Places series. This is Dr. Tracy McCarthy. We're going to be addressing the issue of Ottoman/Roman Empire conquest through religious imposition. Many assert that the Statue of Liberty is emblematic of America or emblematic of the United States. However, that is not correct. As a part of the colonization process or the imperialism process of the Ottoman/Roman Empire, there has been a transplanting of religious history from the East into the West. And so the Statue of Liberty is a manifestation of that. And so, what you have with the Statue of Liberty, the symbolism of it, and including the history, is the transplanting of the ancient Turkey, Rome, and Greece religion. And so, what this has done is it has rewritten the spiritual history of this particular land. When you plant a spiritual belief, practice, or artifact onto a land of another, you essentially corrupt the organic spiritual reality of those people. And so by using this Attis/Cybele symbolism, there was an Ottoman/Roman Empire transplanting of their ancient religious symbols onto the land that is now known as America. There was also some transplanting going on with respect to the west coast of Africa. And here you can see this Attis symbol that is synonymous with the representation of the Statue of Liberty. This is not American, and simply transplanting it from one place to another does not then make it organic to this particular land. And so this symbolism, this Attis, this Cybele, this is ancient Turkey. This is ancient Rome. This is ancient Greece. And so a part of that conquest involved bringing those artifacts into the new space in order to recreate the realities of the people in the new space. And here you can better see the similarities between the Ottoman/Roman Empire symbol of Attis and the Statue of Liberty. Now, there are also some scripture implications related to these symbols, and they happen to be in the book of Revelation. If you read the book of Revelation, you will also note that Turkey is prominently figuring in the book of Revelation for a number of reasons. But anyway, what you have here is Cybele, and Cybele was that mother goddess that is associated with Turkey. Even though you see this great reverence in Rome, the origin is Turkey. And then you see this dispersion in that area with Greece, Rome, and Turkey. And this is another depiction of this ancient deity known as Cybele. Cybele is spelled in a variety of ways, and we're going to look at that so that you can also see the name origin for this particular deity that allows you to trace it back to its origin, which is not the Americas. What is sometimes confusing is when you have words that are anglicized, and so this is no exception. With respect to Cybele or Kibele, the spelling is detected as Turkish. And so the non-anglicized word is Kibele with the Kybele. And then you can see the variations with the CY, the KI. When you look at this in the Arabic, you can see these variations. And so in the Arabic, you can see that this word is detected as Turkish. And then in the Arabic, it's the same as the Cybele. And so the origin of the word is telling you about the roots of the word. You can also see in Greek and you can see in Latin. One thing to make note of in the Greek is that, of course, that B is interchangeable with the V. This is a very loaded deity, a very loaded artifact, this Cybele, this Attis, this Statue of Liberty. And so what you see here is that Cybele or Cybele is also sometimes historically understood as related to Al-Kibulan. And if you think about the Arabic meaning of the prefix there, al, that's simply the. And so in this instance, Al-Kibali is the Kibali or the Cybele, similar to Al-Kibulan. Kibali, Cybele, is another way of saying the Magna Mater. This entity is understood as the Great Mother. In some instances, this entity is understood as the Great Harlot. This, of course, leads to some prophetic works in Scripture. And so there is this connection between this entity known as Kibali or Cybele and that thing known as the Great Harlot. You also see with Al-Kibulan the name of a Khazar king, Bulan. This entity is supposed to be legendary. However, you have this king Bulan, and Bulan translating to moon. And of course, moon is related to mother. And so not only do you have these religious manifestations transported to the Americas out of the Ottoman/Roman Empire, you see these manifestations transplanted in what is now known as Africa. We're going to read a few excerpts from Britannica so that you can see more clearly the origin of these artifacts related to Cybele, related to Attis, and you can see that they are not organic to the Americas. And it indicates Phrygian religion, and this is about the Black Stone and Cybele. It states little would be known of the religion of the Phrygians but for the fact that in 204 BC, the Roman Senate, on the instructions of the priest, had the sacred black stone of the Phrygian mother goddess Cybele transported to their temple. It goes on to state that as a result, there is much information about the cult and its mythology, though it must be remembered that during 200 years of Persian rule, Anatolia had been exposed to many alien influences from the East, which may have affected this cult. We've talked about Attis before and how Attis represents self-emasculation. Attis is represented with the Phrygian cap, and we've seen where individuals are wearing, even in current times, this Phrygian cap. And also, Attis is associated with self-castration. And so Attis is indicated as the high priest of Cybele. As you recall, we discussed the deity Gad and also how Gad was related to Adonis. And here you see this indication that according to the earliest version of the narrative related to Attis and Cybele, Attis was killed, as was the Syrian Adonis, by a boar. These are additional depictions related to Attis and that Phrygian cap that we've discussed before. These are additional depictions of Attis with respect to the Phrygian cap. And you may recall that we discussed the Phrygian cap and how the Phrygian cap has been adopted by a number of individuals on the west coast of Africa and then superimposed onto the original people of that area. And so many of the people on the west coast of Africa, as we've talked about before, are transplants. And so they are from other places, whether we are talking about the east or from the north. And this is another depiction of Attis with the Phrygian cap and also the solar crown. And again, this is a part of the religious history of the area known as Turkey, Rome, Greece. This is not a part of the religious history of what is known as the Americas in terms of the original people of the Americas. And so this is something, this entire dynamic is something that was transplanted. We're not going to go in depth about this. We're just going to look at this excerpt so that people can get a better picture of how the Ottoman Empire and the Roman Empire are tied together, particularly during the period known as the Age of Discovery. And so what we're looking at here is information from Britannica about Mohammed II, and this was the Ottoman Sultan during that time. Now, of course, the Catholic Church is instrumental in what is known as that Age of Discovery. But there is a relationship between Rome and the Ottoman Empire that needs to be understood in order to better understand all of these colonization dynamics that seem to lead right back to Turkey or lead back to the Ottoman Empire. And here it indicates for Muhammad II. He also began to view himself, this is in relation to Constantinople and the conquering, as Kaiser Irum, meaning Caesar of Rome, the inheritor of the Roman Empire and all its historical lands. He asserted this claim with a series of campaigns that thoroughly subjugated both the Balkans and Greece by the late 15th century. And simply because the Ottoman/Roman Empire has transplanted these artifacts into the space that is currently known as America, that does not change the original history of the Americas. It does not change the reality of the original people, and it doesn't change who the original people happen to be.